Well, the freak show's in town. The Democrat convention has officially begun in the city of Chicago. If you're looking to hear any of those filthy communists in their speeches, good news is you don't have to change the channel. We'll be airing those speeches right here on the first after my show. So once you get to enjoy an hour of this, then you can cry and scream at the television for an hour while you watch these freaks discuss their plans to destroy America. And honestly, maybe the most fitting thing, we could talk about a million things today with this convention starting, and we'll go over a few things, but maybe the most fitting thing is that it's being held in Chicago. You see, all communism, all of it, it's a religion of destruction. And that's not even the worst thing about it. It's always about destroying something beautiful, something wonderful. A communist can walk into a Russian church that had been there for 1,000 years. Beautiful. And the communist just wants to burn it down and tear it down. And of course they did. And these things are what the communists do. The city of Chicago, have you ever been to Chicago? I've been there a few times. It's friggin' beautiful. It's beautiful. It could be so incredibly cool. And I'm not even talking about with some hardcore right-wing laws that I would like or you would like. If it was even run in a kind of normal way by normal people, it would be wonderful. Clean up the homeless, criminals are arrested, illegals are not allowed to flood into the city. Again, I'm not speaking about anything radical here. Basics. Oh gosh, it could be so freaking cool and beautiful, but it's ruined. I won't even visit really anymore. If I have to go for work, I pop in and I pop out. They took one of America's great cities, maybe our greatest cities, and they just destroyed it. Corruption, gangs, violence, murders, 20 people shot this weekend alone. It's an absolute war zone. And now, of course, it's getting much, much worse because of the illegals flooding into the city. By the thousand, illegals are going into Chicago. And Democrats on a national level welcome them into the country. Democrats on a local level in Chicago have welcomed them into their city. And, part of the mission, if you're a Democrat in this country, whether you're the Chicago mayor or a United States senator or you're the president or wannabe president like Kamala Harris, part of the mission is to lie. I don't mean that in just the most basic way. You have to cover up the horrific results of your plans at all times. That's why they will lie to your face without end. The president, or more specifically his press secretary, to this day will get up and have a press conference and tell you about all the prices that are getting lower. You can't afford groceries, you're moving back in with your mother, but of course they will they'll just lie right to your freaking face. Everything's based on a lie. Illegals don't belong in a country. You should never come to a country illegally. Most definitely not ours. We are a unique, sovereign country full of citizens. If you are not a citizen here, you are not welcome. If you want to become a citizen here, fine. Go through the process, become a citizen. We will welcome you in. I don't care what you're an illegal doing here, doing drugs, murdering people, raping people. I don't care if you're just here picking strawberries illegally. You're not welcome. And that's not radical. That's a normal way. That's how normal countries have handled immigration throughout the history of mankind. But of course, because the sick freaks who run Chicago have welcomed them in masse, now they have to figure out a way to lie about this because there's going to be a lot of TV cameras in Chicago. My friend Savannah Hernandez is on the ground there. Here's how that's going.
All right, y'all. So a lot of you have seen the migrants on the streets of downtown Chicago, and you've been saying, just wait a week, Sav. Once the DNC rolls through, the city is going to come and clean all of those migrants up so we're not seeing them. Now, I'm actually standing outside of one of the migrant hotels here in Chicago, and I found out, because Axios was reporting this, that Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has already been trying to do this for months. He's been unsuccessful in it because various city council officials have been pushing back and saying, we don't want these migrants in the suburbs.
Nobody wants them now, but Got to do something with them. After all, the TV cameras are in town. Can't let people know what we're all about. And look, you obviously can see what the Democrat Party is all about. If you're one of the Democrats who hate watch this show, just know that during the Republican convention they just had in Milwaukee was crime-free. Businesses in preparation for the Democrat convention in Chicago are boarding up their windows and doors. What does that tell you about the animals who make up the base of your party? Should tell you everything. Have you heard about the pro-Hamas people descending on Chicago?
Y'all can do better than that. Mike DeMoney!
150,000 people are dead. You are funding a genocide. The Harris-Biden administration keeps spending money to Israel. Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Yeah, all the freaks, all the street animals, they're all in one spot right now. Our friend Julio Rosas is talking about some things they're saying on the ground. Now, before I go to Julio, I just want to clarify, the estimate is 100,000 pro-Hamas street animals are descending on Chicago. Here's Julio's reporting. Or we'll bring the war home. This is where we're at now. These are our fellow countrymen now. We live in a country full of these freaking animals. They're everywhere. And the Democrat Party supports and encourages all of this. Planned Parenthood has set up shop in Chicago, offering free vasectomies and free abortions. So the mask is finally off. Child sacrifice has been the norm in every demonic, Satan-worshiping society in the history of mankind, from the Phoenicians to the Aztecs, to so many more, I couldn't even name them all. Demonic societies slaughter their most innocent. It's simply what humans do when they become demons, and this is the Democrat Party. No longer safe, legal, and rare. It's just kill them all and let God sort them out. Remember, Dome didn't misspeak when she talked about reducing the population.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
She didn't misspeak. They said she misspoke afterwards. She didn't misspeak. Democrat after Democrat, Bill Gates. How many people could I name for you right now who have talked about reducing the population on the planet? And of course, abortion's one of the many ways they do that. And all these Democrat officials gathering in Chicago this week, pretending to care about democracy and saving the Constitution, they're all going to politely ignore the fact that the sitting president of the United States of America was knifed in the ribs and forced out of the race for re-election. And Joe's brain is so melted at this point, he went on camera and pretty much admitted just that.
Look, the polls we had showed that it was a neck-and-neck race. Would have been down to the wire. But what happened was a number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races. And I was concerned if I stayed in the race, that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about why did Nancy Pelosi say, why did so, and I thought it'd be a real distraction.
Yes. They won't discuss that this week. Look, look, this is me. There's nobody more willing to blast away at the useless GOP. Look, the GOP came out today and said Joe Biden has committed impeachable offenses. Honestly, I'm not even going to spend any time on that. We're 3.5 years into the presidency. He's not running for re-election. He's almost gone. And of course, the GOP, of course. So look, I don't need any help to criticize the GOP. But man alive, Democrats are horrific. It is evil. What's happening this week will be a great shining display of what this party has become. You don't even have to pay attention to my commentary on it. Just watch. Use your own eyes and watch what these people have become. Wild times ahead. All right? All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.